Hey, what's going on everybody? I'm Guns for Hire and welcome to the Gun Shop. Over the last few days we've seen a new advertisement from Sony and just recently an advertisement from Microsoft for the Xbox One. If you want to see both of them, the links to their ads will be in the description below. Now I've got to say offhand, and I think that the Microsoft Xbox One just came out like yesterday, I believe it was, or maybe even today. Maybe it was yesterday, I don't know. And I gotta say, I do like the advertisement. For whatever reason, I like the advertisement that Xbox made more. It seems more of a polished show. And they do usually a good job, kind of like, you know, the Call of Duty, how Activision does their advertisements for their games. They're really well done. They get, you know, known people. It just seems like a well thought out sort of advertisement. And they don't get into technicalities. Where Sony's advertisement, the impact is really in the numbers. Again, it's like they're giving you stats like you're an investor, which was interesting to see as well, because, and I think the reason why Sony did that, there was a different reason or a motivation. It wasn't so much like, wow, let's try and sell this is exciting, look at this, you know, production level advertisement here. It was more of an answer to all these rumors swirling. And I have to admit, I was kind of swayed by them as well. When they came out in E3, you know, in the conversations with the PS4, you know, where they bashing, like, they were bashing on the Xbox One. But the presentations, it seemed like there was more games, more exclusives and more games for the Xbox One versus PlayStation 4. And the PlayStation 4 seemed like, oh yeah, they had a couple here, and they'll have, you know, the typical big third-party developments like Call of Duty, Battlefield. They'll all be on all the systems. But it really seemed like the games were on the Xbox One, and I got swept up in that as well. And I think it's just because of the focus that Sony chose. You know, they chose to do the old, and you don't worry about the DRM, you don't have to have it on. You know, they were busy bashing Microsoft. So I think because they got caught up on that, and there wasn't a lot of gameplay showing there to sell the PlayStation 4, other than the price, which everyone was like, oh, it's $100 cheaper, I'm going to get that. They answered with this commercial. And the commercial basically says, listen, we've got more exclusives than any other next-gen console. We've got more games coming than any next-gen console. And I'm assuming that it's going to be the Xbox One and the Wii U. I'm pretty sure that they consider the Wii U in collaboration, like, as part of that. And we all know the Wii U, and if you've got one, you know, Nintendo fans are desperately waiting for these new games to come out. They're being very, very slow, especially with third-party developers. So it was interesting to see this. 24 exclusives already, you know, mentioned for the PlayStation 4. 180 games in development with, I believe, what is it, 30 of them coming out before the end of 2013, which means that, you know, in a span of like a month and a half maybe for the window, which is November, what is it, early November, November 11th, somewhere around there, or maybe that's Call of Duty. Somewhere in November when the PlayStation 4 comes out to the end of the year, there's supposed to be 30 games that come out for it. And they're stating in the advertisement that they'll have more games than any other next-gen console. They're basically answering. They're like, no. Don't get confused. We actually have more exclusives. We actually have more games in general than the Xbox One. Because they just say than any next-gen console. And there has been no rebuttal. Like, Microsoft doesn't reply to that. They don't look into that. So maybe the claims are true. Maybe they do have more exclusives. Whether or not they're indie or whatever the case may be, you know that they have Naughty Dog, Santa Monica Studios, etc., etc. There are some high-quality games, so it was interesting to see them make that comeback. And how do you feel about that? Is this a big deal? There's people talking about, and I read a lot of comments, a lot of fanboy comments, particularly from the Xbox people saying, oh, well, it doesn't matter if it's $100 cheaper, I'll buy it for the games, and Xbox has more games and more exclusives. With a bold statement from Sony saying that, that's not true. And there's been no rebuttal. They would, you know, making a statement like that, if it was false, if it was a lie, believe me, someone from Microsoft would have responded like, don't know where they're getting the numbers from. All Microsoft did was put out a solid video. They're like, we're not concerned about it. And I think based on the sales numbers, I don't think they really do have to worry about it. There was a gap in the beginning, almost a 2-to-1 pre-sale for orders on the PlayStation 4 versus the Xbox One. But that gap is slowly closing. And a lot of analysts are actually saying now that the Xbox One will outperform the PS4, you know, within a year. Like, they'll actually catch up, and they'll quickly catch up. So how do you feel about that? What is it that makes you want to get the Xbox One over the PlayStation 4? Is it games? Because if it is, the PlayStation 4 technically has the edge there, and Microsoft is not disputing that fact. So how do you feel about it? Is games more important? Is the system more important? Do you buy it for the controller? Or, you know, like, what is it? What are the factors that make you want to choose one console over the other? Or is it just simply the price? $100 cheaper. I don't need the Kinect. I don't want the Eye. That's it. Give me a game system. They're basically going to play the exact same games. If you're a huge Call of Duty person, you want those maps early. Likely they're going to get the DLCs early again. Is that the factor? Is that what's making you buy this system? There's so many factors here. I'm curious to know what's making you think, okay, I'm going to get this one over that one. You know? I'm going PlayStation 4, but that's just me. What are you getting?